quick overview of my mobile detailing van. It's a 2012 Ford Transit Connect. For this build, I wanted everything to be concealed. We're not 100% done at this point, but I'll keep updating you as we go along. So let's start from the beginning where we first got the vehicle and what it looked like. As you can see, it wasn't in the greatest condition on the inside. The company had it before us, used it for a pool cleaning business. So there was a lot of chlorine, salt, and a bunch of other random things associated with that business. So our first objective was to clean out all of that salt and chlorine so it doesn't cause any more rust. So what you're looking at is just a couple of different views of the condition of the vehicle. We weren't sure how to get started with the whole build, so we decided to do a rough drawing of what we were looking for. We knew for sure we wanted drawers on the back and we wanted the whole thing insulated, and we definitely needed lights on the inside. The first step of the process was getting everything cleaned out of the van by taking out the seats, carpeting, and cleaning out all the salt and chlorine buildups everywhere. The second step of the process was figuring out the space that we actually had to work with. So to do that, we installed a divider between the back of the van and the front to also help with dampening the noise. Step 3 was placing the water tanks in the van temporarily just to see how much room they would take, and for us to also build a divider between the water tanks and the drawers. Step 4 of the process was coating the inside of the van with Flex Seal just to keep out the moisture and prevent any more rust from spreading. For the fifth step of the process, we added some water into the tanks to make sure there were no leaks before we started insulating the van. And we also added a dividing wall between the back of the van and the side doors to have them as completely separate compartments. Step 6, double check everything and make sure everything fits before you start screwing stuff up, because the last thing you want to do is pull a wall down because something doesn't fit right. So we just double checked everything at this point, make sure everything was fitting correctly, and started putting everything together. So these are just a couple other random shots of different stages of the process. Might not be exactly in the order I'm giving it, but just different pictures I wanted to toss in just for you to see different angles and different things we were doing at this point. Here's where we put up the walls, the side walls, and we insulated those on both sides. Here's another view of the back of the van when we first put the hoses up, just to make sure they all fit. We had two hoses, one on top, one on the bottom. We realized they weren't going to fit, so we had to move them around a little bit. We put the air hose on the top, and we move the extension cord to the bottom, and then move the power washer to the right of that. Okay, so even though we did all those plans, for step 7, we had to do a reality check. We started realizing that 3 drawers would be a little difficult to do. Instead, we created one big drawer and created a divider. So we divided that drawer into 4 separate compartments, which made it a lot easier. We also made a space for buckets to the left of the drawer, as you can see in this picture, where you can add up to 4 buckets can fit in this space right here. Here's a couple of random shots. Didn't know where to put them, so I just figured I'll stick them in here to have you take a look. These are just like shots of the tank when we closed it up. Here's a picture of the van at night after we put the lighting in and painted that section of it. Here's a view of the side of that. This is all the plumbing we did. After we completed the plumbing, we went ahead and closed off that wall, which should look like this. This is exactly that access panel to access anything we need to get to. This is going to be a demonstration of how well the van is insulated. I'm going to turn on the compressor so you can hear it. The side door is open, so I'm going to walk around to the side and close the door while it's still going. As you can hear the bird in the background, so you know there's no cut in this video. You'll still hear the bird after I close the door. Still hear that bird. I'm going to walk around to the back of the van, where you'll still kind of hear the noise slightly, and I'm going to close those doors as well. Let's go to the back and shut it off. And yes, I know that was a cut in the video, but I just wanted to show you the ladder on the bottom here that I didn't show. So this compartment is for the ladder. So there it is. It's a foldable ladder. It fits right in. We kind of made a spot for everything so that nothing's really shown. So that was the last thing I wanted to show you. Alright, thanks for watching. You can download the app on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. It's available right now. Go ahead and schedule your wash today.